Thank you, Lindsay. That's very nice. And the film was definitely a hard act to follow, so I will do my best. And it's nice to see the Out of School initiative featured there, along with all of the other kinds of programs. And I'll have to tell you, those teens are just pretty amazing. It's nice to see the next generation is getting well schooled and exposed to all this wonderful work that we all do. So I would like to commend SV2 on its 12th anniversary, and I'm really delighted to be here to celebrate with you along with Ash McNeely, who is the Executive Director of the Sandtail Foundation. And I'm here also to congratulate my dear friend and fellow adventurer in the world of philanthropy, Laura Arriaga Andreessen, for her great vision and her tenacity and her commitment that got SV2 to where it is today. Yes. We all know that Laura is incredibly charming and persuasive, but we also know that that alone doesn't make something like SV2 happen. And it was a great idea, and I remember talking with Laura over coffee at Starbucks on University Avenue about this wonderful idea all those years ago. And her timing was perfect, and she's really nurtured it in these past 12 years to make it the kind of success. So it's wonderful to see a room full of committed philanthropists and to know that the idea is spreading and all of the work that SV2 is doing is just so remarkable. So tonight we are celebrating SV2, but we are also, at least we should, I think, be celebrating the past 12 years of philanthropy and reflecting on how the world of philanthropy has changed in many extraordinary and really wonderful, wonderful ways. For many of you, SV2, I was thinking about this as I was putting my comments together. I realized that for many of you, SV2 is probably your first organized philanthropic effort. And it is only the opening of the door of the things that you are going to do in the future. And so you may not fully appreciate really how much the world of philanthropy has changed in the last 12 to 15 years. And it's really pretty extraordinary. It used to be, and I've been around long enough, and Laura, even though she's a whole lot younger than I am, has almost been around long enough in philanthropy to know these changes as well. But it used to be that there were basically three ways of giving. There was the individuals, people who supported the United Way or their church. There was a corporate sponsorship, which usually was an event or something that was underwritten by a corporate entity. And then there were the foundations, those mysterious black boxes of decision-making that were unknown to the average person and pretty opaque also to the nonprofit leaders who really needed them to help support their work. So there was this big sort of gap in understanding exactly what these philanthropic organizations actually did. Well, since that time, creative forces and a lot of other things have changed. So today, philanthropy is much broader known, and it's practiced and it's celebrated in a whole different way. And it's really so phenomenal to watch that. There are great new models, and the old sort of monolithic foundation, while it still exists and it's really important, is only just one player. And there are many, many more powerful kinds of players. So today there are things like the Omidyar network model. There's the venture philanthropy approach that SV2 employs. And there are giving circles, and then there are the committed, flexible, smaller family foundations that I like to think that we are, that look at making a difference in the community and their world in their own unique but very different ways. So people now are willing to work together to leverage their expertise and their dollars for maximum impact. Collaboration is now the key, as we've talked about and have seen so many times about working together to solve problems. And that's the strategy that foundations and individuals are looking to make a bigger difference. So you all are key to that, key participants in that, and never estimate the power that you have in doing that. And you can see how the power of one is transformed into the power of many by the coming together of partners over a particular issue or a particular organization. So you should definitely keep up this wonderful model because it is working. The other example of collaboration, of course, is what has been portrayed in the movie and what Lindsay described, and that is the collaboration between the Sandtail Foundation and the Packard Foundation and SV2. And actually it started just as a germ of an idea. Ash was exactly right. We were invited to come to SV2's Friday lunch and sort of talk about what the Sandtail Foundation does, and we were at that point talking about an issue that was near and dear to our heart, which is how could we continue to do the work that we do and fund our organizations that we have historically funded yet do something that was a new initiative, something that would require a lot of work, a lot of new thinking. How are we going to find the time to do that? So we decided to bring that to this group without thinking we would do it together, but just to sort of expose a struggle that we were having, and maybe people would have some suggestions. And it would provide a much more interesting conversation than just these are the kinds of things that we do. And so we did, and we had this great conversation, these nice ideas. And then conversation continued, and I remember Lindsay and Laura said, you know what, we'd like to do that with you. And we thought, well, that's really very cool, and talked about that. And the next thing we knew, we were talking to Packard Foundation. They said, well, we'd like to do that with you. And 3 very, very different organizations with different kinds of thoughts about how to go about it. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful process because we're all committed to the idea of how to help this community serve middle and high school students better who want to go to college and who want to stay in college. And that's what we're doing. So stay tuned. It's just beginning, but we're all very, very excited about it. So let me close by saying that now is not the time to rest on our laurels. We may be having a glass of wine or some champagne tonight, but tomorrow there's more work to be done. And the opportunities to make a difference in this world and to solve the intractable problems are boundless, and we must continue to innovate. We must continue to innovate in both the possible solutions and improvements for everything from clean drinking water in Africa to the dropout rate in this country and healthcare needs for the poor around the world. And we also need to innovate in terms of their philanthropic models that will get those solutions to the people who need them. And the SV2 model is a forerunner, and it will become the next iteration. And corporate philanthropy will go through its own iterations, and family foundations will as well. So I urge you to continue to be the leaders that you are in getting to that next level and introducing philanthropy for the next generation. So thank you for all of you that you do, partners of SV2, and congratulations. That's all.